All right. Good morning, guys. So world history, I just kind of want to wrap up. We may come back to this European miracle thing when I'm in class later this week. Right now, I'm not. I'm not going to be in school on Monday or Tuesday. But let's kind of go over this assignment just real briefly. Please turn it in if you're not done. But I love looking at the bigger trends of things. So hopefully you got something on seeing income and health, how they're related, see the moves of different countries. I find it fascinating how some countries did better at different times and for different reasons, and we can see the impact of things like war and famine and genocide. And kind of culminating those ideas or seeing what's the why behind it. And I think this is a good culminating video. And again, he's just one guy with a view. I shouldn't say just one guy. I mean, he's a historian, a well-respected historian. But looking at the apps that he points out: competition, scientific revolution, property rights, modern medicine, the consumer society, the work ethic, seeing some countries adopt and adapt these things at different times. But what's great is we saw so many countries increase their wealth and their health so much faster in the last 50 to 70 years. And so this is going to be coming up over and over and over as the chapters as we move forward. Ever since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, we're going to see this huge gap grow, and then we're going to see it narrow. Okay, so I know maybe it seemed a little scattered and maybe a little too philosophical for some or deep, but I think you're going to see more of these things as the chapters roll on. Okay, this extra stuff down here, don't worry about it. Like I said, maybe we'll come back to that on Thursday or Friday. Okay, so let's get into this week now, which is week 13. I posted the chapter 8 link right here. I know some people are having a hard time loading everything, and I'm going to have that posted a few different places, okay? So let's look at the week. So you're going to turn in your graphic organizer in class, meaning in person, whether it be, I guess you would, if you're gold, you would turn it on Tuesday. I better move that down here. But for now, you could just take a picture of it, so if I can get to grading those while I'm home for the next couple of days, I will do so. So go ahead and we'll start with a warm-up, which is CNN 10. That document will be available. And so then we'll begin Chapter 8 reading guide. So let's look at the warm-up. So what I want you to do is, before we even start CNN 10, is take 3 minutes and read about Vladimir Putin. Just go ahead and Google his name. Tell me who he is. And of course, yes, he's the leader of Russia. Yes. Tell me more, though. And then, what question do you have about him? Okay. The reason I do this is because I'm trying to relate to current events with history. So, to see someone like Vladimir Putin come into power and how he holds power, seeing what happened in the late 1800s, early 1900s gives you a good idea of why someone like him could lead a country like Russia. So ask me questions if you could on that. Today's objective is to understand the cause and effects of the Russian Revolution in 1905. And your success criteria would be to read and complete a summary of Section 1, Chapter 8. And so with that, I do want to show you Chapter 8 real briefly. So it is, why did revolutions sweep the world? And really, though, it's 3 sections. It's Russia, who do you think's next? Great Britain, and yeah, France. Okay, it seems like we hit on France and Britain all the time, and that's for a good reason. Okay, so we're going by themes right now. So we're going to see these great powers have revolutions. Okay, and we're going to, at the very end, I like this last little Google Doc here that we're going to do a Chapter 7 analysis. So what you should be paying attention to in between all 3 of these is, to what extent is there separation of church and state? What is the relationship between government and the governed, so like the people? And how rigid is the social class structure? So you're going to see similarities and differences in here. And yeah, there you go on that. All right. So with this section reading guide, here's a link also, again, just to Chapter 8, because I know people are having loading problems. Here's the vocab. Please, again, you got to be careful. I'm just gonna warn you now. If you're like, oh, Colossus, I'm gonna look that up. Colossus. All right. Looks like he's a mutant with the ability to transform his entire body into the form of organic steel. Sounds like Russia. Don't copy this. This is obviously wrong. Even if you go to the dictionary down here, a statue that is much bigger than the life size. Nope, that's not what we're talking about. Let's look at the next one. A person or thing enormous size, importance, or ability. Sort of, yeah. The Russian Empire was a colossus of the European politics. Okay, so if you actually read it in the chapter like you should, it says right in there, oh, I guess we could use our search skills. Colossus. Oops, right here. Russian, looked at the Russian colossus, or a giant with mixed thoughts. Economic envy because Russia's immense natural resources. Okay, so when you say, like, yes, colossus is being a large area or economy in Russia's case, but it's one of the reasons is because the natural resources. Okay, all right, so be careful with that. And then the next thing, we're going to do something a little bit different. I feel like people just aren't reading as much as they should. You know, vocab's great. I like the videos, but it's history class. You just got to read. All right, so this is 5 pages. I know. It's 5 pages, Mr. Raymond. But I need you to read it. And to ensure that you're reading it, what I'm going to ask you to do is summarize it. Okay. I want you to summarize each section heading, like Russian reform and reaction. If you look, that's right here. I want you to summarize that in 3 to 4 sentences. Bullet points are fine. It's in blue already. In your own words, though, write a summary of it. The best way to summarize this, though, is to read it and then write, you know, your 3 or 4 sentences or bullet points, okay? And again, main ideas. Don't get your 3 sentences on the first 3 sentences. That's not okay. But yeah, every section heading, you know, if it's a shorter section like this one, bloop, you know, it's short, it's a paragraph, right? You know, maybe 2 or 3 would make sense there. But for the most part, the rest of them are going to be 3 or 4 sentences long. And again, our aim is to know why there was a revolution and the effects of the revolution. Why? So we can always consider it for our own future as well. All right, and this chapter is going to also focus on this beautiful man, Rasputin. We'll get to him later. In the reading guide, I will say the video I linked to down here is The Mysterious Life and Death of Rasputin. This is the one I suggest, I guess you would say, because this one's just it mentions a couple things that maybe isn't school appropriate, but it's up to you which one you would like to use. So you can watch this video or just use the one I put in the guide, which I think is a little more appropriate for your age. Okay, so it's linked there. So how do you want to divvy this up? I believe all the videos should be done on Tuesday, and the summary and vocab should be on Monday. Okay, because if you do a good job of the summary, it's gonna be a hefty part of the day, I think. Okay, all right. So again, warm-up question, then CNN 10, then begin your reading guide. And for Monday, you should only need to get through the vocab and summary. Tuesday, I think we can finish the rest. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. See you.